And the time is just 29 minutes past 9 o'clock, and Ray Summers from Neighbourhood Watch is unable to be with us this morning, but he has arranged for the appearance of not one but two guests in his place. And so it's with great pleasure I welcome from Victoria Police Whitehorse Crime Prevention Officer, leading Senior Constable Beck Millen, and Constable Kayla Speedy from the Whitehorse Family Violence Unit. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us, Pete.
Good to see you. And you haven't been here for a while. I think you attended with Ray, I'm guessing now, Beck, about 12 months ago, maybe even longer.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it has been a while.
It has.
But it's great to be here, and I'm glad that I brought Kayla along as well.
I'm very excited to be here.
And we'll get to having a chat with Kayla in a moment. But Beck, firstly to you, your job as Crime Prevention Officer, is it working?
It seems to sometimes. I think overall, look, Whitehorse it's a relatively safe or good area compared to other areas. I think people are aware that they need to be, a bit more cautious with their belongings, lock their cars at night, lock up their houses. But it doesn't take much for someone to come through our area, which is typical of how our crime happens, and, do a spate of house break-ins or car break-ins. So we've just got to be aware and not become complacent and not give people the opportunity to, pinch our bag or wallet because we've put it down somewhere, or pinch valuables from our cars because we haven't locked them, or we've got a laptop sitting on our passenger seat. So, yeah.
We seem to be forever discussing this, Ray and I. People leaving stuff in plain view in their cars.
Yeah.
And sometimes the window's down.
Unfortunately, there are other people who look for that opportunity. So they are trolling through car parks to see what people have left in their cars. Even driveways where people can, forget or become complacent and not lock their stuff or lock their doors, or maybe leave their stuff in their car for the next morning. But it's all... most of our crime is opportunistic.
Yeah.
So if you're not giving them the opportunity, they can't commit that crime.
So the story is, don't be complacent. Don't
Correct.
leave stuff in full view, and make sure you lock up your house. I know
Correct.
Ray and the Neighbourhood Watch team, the local Neighbourhood Watch team, spend a lot of time putting notices on people's windscreens at car parks. And
they do.
I think the last time we spoke about statistics, he said that break-ins to cars had come down slightly, so that's a good thing.
They're fantastic. They help me quite regularly. Every, I'd say, 3 to 4 weeks we're doing an activity, and that can be placing flyers on cars in car parks. A prime example is Mitcham Railway Station. That used to always have break-ins or even cars stolen from there. I would say that that's dropped dramatically because we've literally gone through there a couple of times, and there's probably car spaces for 1,200 cars. So
Is that right?
Oh yeah, it's a big car park. So there's a lot of opportunity for someone to walk around that car park while those cars are parked there unattended for, anywhere from 6, 8, 10, 12 hours. And if there's something of value in there, they'll smash a window or they'll force a door and try to get that. So doing a blanket flyer drop on everyone's window just to let those people know what's been going on, and to, be a bit more vigilant. That plus the PSOs, they regularly hand out the same flyers.
Oh, so do they? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, they're great. And they've made a great difference to our role with just being on those platforms. And Box Hill, especially here, they're able to walk up through the shopping centre to the bus deck up the top. So it just gives another,
another dimension to protection, doesn't it?
It does. And the number of times that we get called up there now has dropped dramatically because of just their presence up there. So they regularly hand out these flyers that we leave on cars to train goers that are coming home. So it's working well.
That's good. And you mentioned at the outset, Beck, that the crime seems to come in waves. Is that? It's almost as though somebody is controlling.
Through.
Let's hit this area now. Is it?
Yeah.
It's not that sophisticated.
No, it's
is
not
it?
that. No, I wouldn't say that. But I'd say that a lot of our criminals or our offenders are from outside our area. They literally come through. We're off We have train, tram and bus, so we easily can get into Box
Very
Hill.
accessible.
Plus we're
Yeah.
close to Eastlink and the Eastern Freeway, so major arterials are
Yeah.
also, you can just duck off and come through this area. So I find that a lot of our offenders don't actually live in the area.
No, well, I guess that's something.
Something
anyway.
to make you feel a bit better about, maybe?
Yeah, feel a bit better about that at least.
Yeah.
That's great. And the time is just coming up to 26 minutes to 10 o'clock, and now switching to Constable Kayla Speedy. Kayla, thanks for coming in. It's good to see you on your first time on radio.
Yes,
certainly,
correct,
and
yes.
community radio anyway, and certainly the first time on Monday Breakfast. Just define your role in VicPol. What do you do?
I previously was a uniform member at Box Hill, so I've been there for over a year now, and we do secondments with the Family Violence Unit. So
Okay.
we take in turns and have a little bit of time with them. So we go through all the jobs that uniform members have attended from the previous night and work out our high risk affected family members and deal with anyone that's high risk.
Okay, and that can mean then we're talking about family violence.
Yes.
So we're talking about any member of family. That can be a senior member, a female, a male, a whatever.
Yes.
With the whole shooting
Yes,
match. In
correct.
fact,
Yes, so-
everybody involved in a family situation. That can be
Yeah.
de facto as well as long-standing boyfriend girlfriend relationships.
brothers or sisters.
Yeah.
So it's a spouse or domestic partner.
Right.
Any person who's had or been in an intimate relationship. A child who resides with a person, any child.
Right.
Any person that have had an intimate relationship or family member, so brothers, sisters.
Okay, that's covering the whole gamut
Yes.
indeed. How long have you been in the unit now? You've been seconded to it. How long
Yes,
have
I've
you
only
there?
been there for just over a month now.
Okay.
So it's
How are you finding it?
It's very interesting.
Interesting. I bet it's
Yes.
harrowing at times, though, isn't it?
There's some pretty scary jobs that you attend and see, and
Yeah.
not
So
nice.
it's the uniform guys who attend the job. They've been called out to a domestic violence incident because
Yes.
the neighbours phoned it in, or indeed
Yeah.
one of the members of the family has phoned it in. You get the report, you read what's happened the previous day, and then you take steps and go and see whoever is involved. Is that
Yes,
effectively how
yep.
it works?
So we
Okay.
either call the affected person to see if how they're feeling, or if they need any assistance with getting intervention orders, or any accommodation that we can provide if they don't feel safe at home, or
Okay. And I notice there are more and more incidents being reported, and a lot of media attention on family violence in recent times, which is a good thing. But I have heard people, the so-called experts, say we're seeing more reports because more people feel comfortable in reporting family violence. Do you believe that's so?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do believe that. It's becoming more, people are becoming aware of it and feeling more comfortable to talk about it. And if an incident happens, they feel more likely to come and talk to us, or at least
Right.
tell someone about
And
the
on
incident.
the other side of that, of course, I guess the people concerned who have had the family violence perpetrated against them, they're reporting it now because there are support services available,
Yes.
not only with yourselves, but also places they can go and stay
Yeah,
until things cool
correct.
off or their future is able to be better determined.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
lots of emergency accommodation that they can
Yeah.
go to.
Maybe Kayla can describe when she's on the van and attending. So you're now getting the reports the next day because you're at the family violence unit. But maybe talk Peter through when you actually attend.
Please.
Like you would go to at least one a shift
Oh
normally.
yes, a lot of our jobs is probably 7 out of 15 jobs are family violence related on the van. So it's very common to get a job. So when we go to these jobs, we separate the parties, or depends on each situation, but we get a story from both, and if it turns out that there's one perpetrator, then we'll take them back to the station and put in place a family violence intervention order, and reports are done, so the affected family member can have some support there, and that's
Yeah, and you obviously don't attend these meetings alone, do you? There would be more than one of you. Do you attend with a male officer, or is it usually female?
No, it just depends on the day.
On who's available?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's two of us usually that attend these jobs.
Okay.
Any job.
I can understand that would be pretty confronting, because the people in that situation, you rock up to the front door, it's already happened overnight, it's been reported, oh no, they're back again, and somebody's going to get fired up about they're here again, why are they harassing me like this? That must happen quite frequently, I'm guessing.
Sometimes people don't want to talk to us in that situation, so if we think that someone's at risk, we might even talk to them the next day or give them a call to see if they want to tell us anything more, because they might be afraid or...
I think it's important to understand too what family violence is. It's not just physical.
Yeah, a lot of people think that family violence is just physical, but it's actually any behaviour that controls or dominates a family member and causes them to feel fear, or that their safety's or well-being. It's also physical, sexual and psychological and emotional,
and also economical, financial abuse.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
Yes, I read something about that recently. That is becoming more commonplace, isn't it? With money and budgets being stretched, there's an opportunity for
a bit more of a control.
A bit more control.
Yeah. So there's a lot of factors that can go into what family violence can be.
Of course.
We've got some pretty. To put it into perspective, some stats there that Kayla's got of reports and stuff.
Yeah, so every fortnight in Australia, 3 women are murdered by their current or ex-partners. So that was something I didn't know until I got into
that's pretty
this unit.
significant, isn't it?
It's very significant.
Also in 2017, there were in excess of 78,000 reports of family violence to police in Victoria. So that was...
In Victoria alone?
Yeah,
Victoria alone, yeah.
So that's up from, there's 35,000 more reports than 8 years ago. So it just shows that family violence is becoming more well known, and
yes, it is.
People are talking about it more. So there's 2 out of 5 affected family members are reporting to police incidents that the violence has been occurring for more than 2 years. So people are starting to talk about it, and which is sad.
But that's too long, isn't it?
It's too long.
It's too long. But many women, I believe, back off when push comes to shove. They are prepared to say, no, I still love him. He didn't mean it. He was only drunk. Yada yada yada.
It can be hard. It can be. There could
Very
be kids
hard.
involved. They may not be working. They might not think they can leave financially, emotionally. There's a lot that goes into it. Part of our role also is to do referrals to other agencies.
I was going to ask about that. Child services, isn't it?
Yeah, DHHS. We work closely with them, as well as there's a EDVOS. It's Eastern Domestic Violence. Yeah. So we work closely with them. Every Thursday night we go out with them. They can assist affected family members with accommodation, phones, anything that can assist them in their safety or helping with kids, understanding.
And they're a voluntary organisation, I assume?
No.
Some state
they're a
funding.
counselling service.
Okay.
But both of these organisations, EDVOS and DHHS, are automatically notified when domestic violence or family violence reports are created.
Yeah.
So they automatically get notified if there's a child involved.
Yeah.
And depending on the partner as well. I think there's a men's referral service.
Yes,
and
there
then
is.
there's,
Okay, so you're starting to cover a lot of bases, aren't you?
There's a lot.
There's a lot of help out there.
Oh yeah, there is, and that's why I suppose maybe it might be easier to make those reports or let people know, because there is more help than probably 8 years ago.
Absolutely.
With those stats that we had before.
That's a great thing. And, of course, what we're moving to be talking about is White Ribbon Day, which is coming up on the 25th. And it happens on the 25th of November each year.
It does.
It's not the 3rd or 4th, whatever. It is the 25th of November, White Ribbon Day. Now, I do know a little bit about it, but not very much, so perhaps you can fill in the
I know there is a White Ribbon Day event in Burundara on the 22nd, which is this Wednesday, and it's basically, Pete, to raise awareness about the negative impact of violence against women and children. This is a free event, this one at Burundara, and there's some guest speakers there that talk about, like we were talking before, family violence, but also the impacts of the financial abuse. And I think it's just a great way for people to get together and kind of realise that, you know, it's happening to a lot of people, different sections of the community. It's across the board. It's not one group. And I think this is a way to put it out there even more. So as this flyer says about White Ribbon on the 22nd, the event. It's a lady who's won the Telstra Tasmanian Businesswoman of the Year. So she's telling her story.
It is her story.
It's her story,
okay.
and she's someone who's won a business award for, you know, Woman of the Year. So, but yet she's still been affected by family violence. So. This also has a panel of experts there that you can learn some more advice about legal and support services. So I think it's a great event. It's held in Camberwell, but I think Whitehorse might be looking at holding one next year. So
it's basically an information day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
There are two sessions with Beth Matheson, the first between 11 and midday, and then 12 until 1, if I'm reading that correctly, and I don't have my glasses
Looks
on.
like there's a lunch going on there, Pete.
Oh,
free
good,
lunch afterwards.
Yes, there is too. Next time I'll bring my right glasses. Well, we could go to lunch anyway, but between 11 and 12, and then there's a free lunch, an information day. Burundara, whereabouts is it actually being held?
It's in the Parkview room at the Camberwell Civic Centre.
Camberwell Civic Centre.
Yeah.
That's a great location too.
Yeah.
Now, you need to book your seat, and you can do that, I think, by calling 9278 4715. Or emailing Andrea, looks like Learbuck, andrea.learbuck at burundara.vic.gov.au. Does that sound about right?
That's all good.
You see, I did manage to read that. With you putting your thumb in the air at me like that. Thank you, Mel. And you should talk about losing sight. Oh, that's terrific. That's something to look forward to. There's nothing, no equivalent running, as you say, in Whitehorse just at the moment, but that could happen in the future, we hope.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, is there anything else you either of you would like to cover off before we wrap up today?
No, I think that explains what we do, but if anyone needs any assistance, they can always give us a call at Box Hill, and we're happy to assist.
Now, do you have a number off the top of your head for contact?
8892 3200.
8892 3200. I managed that. You see, I didn't have to read it. That's why that worked. And, of course, they can always drop into Whitehorse Police Station on the corner of Kangarong Road and Whitehorse Road.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you very much. It was nice to see you again, Beck. Thank you so much for coming in, and nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you too.
You too,
Terrific.
Katie. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And at 13 minutes to 10, we'll just return to the music ahead of Steve-O's Box of Chocolates coming up between 10 and midday.